we have with us Nathan Johnson. Hi, Nathan. How's
Hey,
it
how you doing?
going?
You okay?
Good. You're the only white guy who trains Indians, and you also won the best personal trainer in 2017 in London.
I did.
So, a couple of questions regarding all of that. Firstly, before we get to why you do what you do, can you tell us a little bit about your fitness journey and how you got here?
For sure. So my fitness journey started like I think most personal trainers do. You either get an injury or you are a fat kid, and you're
Yes,
like, right, I need to solve myself. I need to sort myself out, and then in the
right.
process of that, you actually end up enjoying the fitness lifestyle. So for
Yeah.
me, I had a knee injury, which resulted in me actually getting a knee replacement 2 years ago. So it was really an aggressive injury when I was younger, and I just ate biscuits and drank lots of tea and lots of pizza all the way until 18. And then I decided that I needed to do something about it. And then I decided that was what I wanted to do as part of a career. So I moved to London. I became a rehab therapist or like a physiotherapist. And then
Okay.
decided that helping people get in shape was much better than dealing with people's broken legs or
Right.
stitching people up at rugby clubs,
Yeah.
which was a different lifestyle altogether. So that's how I got
Yeah.
into it, really. And as soon as I started personal
Okay.
training, I just liked the feeling of helping people.
Okay. So, as an athlete, I have a brother who plays badminton professionally. So, I've seen he
Nice.
keeps getting injuries. What do you feel about that? Is it similar when you're weight training or, say, your body training? Do you keep getting injuries as well?
No, if like for example with badminton or any sport, it's obviously a repetitive movement, and it's always this movement or that or this. So that normally comes with its own issues in terms of the repetition. If you do something thousands of times, it normally is a bad thing sometimes.
Okay.
It ends up being degradation to the muscles. Whereas weight training and strength training can, if done properly, can only be a benefit. But if, like anything, if it's done wrong and not great, then it can cause some issues long term as well. So most people just hear the bad stories as opposed to the good ones.
Fair enough. Okay. I have a question about why you kick people out after you
Why do
train
I
them.
kick people out?
Yeah. Is it profitable for you?
No, but that's not the goal. Like I said, I when I started this, I wanted to help. I like the way I help people, and that was the most important part. And one key part of the puzzle to any person's fitness journey is they have to learn to do it by themselves. Otherwise, it's not useful long term, because I can't be with you when you're 50, 60, 70 to make your
Right.
health great. So I can teach you the skills and teach you the habits and everything going forwards. But then ultimately, it's your job to continue that, because it's not worth having. You can't rely on me. You can only rely on yourself.
Right, makes sense. So a lot of Indian trainers themselves say that Indian diets traditionally don't have a lot of protein. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they're objectively true that it doesn't have a lot of protein, or even the serving sizes that they're using do not have a lot. It's obviously lots of either roti or rice, depending on where you are in India. And then at the same time is that the serving, the things that are being utilized, whether it's the rajma, the chanas, the veggie curries, they're not highly protein based. So yeah, logic, like it's absolutely true, but it doesn't
Okay.
stop people getting results.
Okay. So do you think that a fupa is good? Like, does it actually protect the ovaries and the female system, or should one have less muscle, less fat over there as well, and more muscle?
So the fupa, as in like you're talking about the
Belly
belly
fat,
section.
yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's got a different term for it, either a pouch or a fupa, or
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah.
one. I don't use that one, but I'm going to start using it.
Yeah.
The only thing that protects the organs inside of the body is the organs. And there's a level of fat, a level of I guess cushion that is needed, but it's far less than what people need it. If your belly is protruding outwards, that's not protecting anything. That's only
Okay.
protecting the fat that's there.
Yeah.
You won't be able to see, like for example, the fat that we have in our brain or the fat that we have between next to our lungs. You won't see that, and you'll never see that protruding out of a t-shirt. So you don't. I think a lot of people say that it protects it, but a lot of the fat that we have, and you look in the mirror and you see, is a lot cosmetic. It's not the stuff that actually helps. The stuff that really helps is the stuff that you'll never see, and you'll never notice how small they are. So a lot of people can do with a lot less than they have, if that makes sense.
That's very interesting, because a lot of places you'll read that it's essential for a woman. That's very interesting.
So there's a level of body fat, and it's more than males. So like on average, most are recommended, I believe, between like 20 to 25% body fat, whereas males can be 10 to 15. But normally it's down to the reduction of fat and how you get there that actually then alters hormonal profile and has a risk of potentially losing your menstrual cycle. But that happens at way lower levels of body fat than most people even entertain. Use the BMI scale, for example. Most people sit way beyond the 25 marker. Most South Asians, in terms of the need of where health is, they need to sit at 23. So if you're around the 23, 22, 21, you're good. It's normally the other end, that the 18s, the 17s, the 16s, that becomes problematic.
Okay. And we're seeing a lot of these Instagram reels about how the right partner can give you a lot of stress and a lot of cortisol, and then cortisol gets you fat over here and all over the place. So is it actually related to stress levels, and how much does stress affect weight training or say nutrition in your life?
Yeah, so mostly the most stress that is caused creates a reaction. So you have to think about a partner does this, a mum says this, an auntie tells you that, a busy day at work. They all make you do something afterwards. So for example, mine was when I had a bad day at school, getting bullied, for example, I would get a full pack of biscuits, and I would eat that pack of biscuits because I was stressed. Now, people blame the stress, I blame the biscuits. So when you are stressed, you tend to drink more, eat more, justify more eating, and move less. So all the things that make us feel good are normally the things that have the most amount of calories. You wouldn't sit down after a busy day at school or work and a stressful day and eat a cucumber, would you?
No, not at all.
You're stressed, you're eating bhajia, you're eating, chakri, you're eating, the chevros, you're eating anything that mum's cooking or that is homemade at home, because that's the stuff that makes you feel good.
Yeah. So how do you study Indian or South Asian genetics when it's kind of alien to you? Like, you can always go through books and you can go through, say, movies or whatever is secondary information, but how do you actually study the genetics?
So when you've had conversations with thousands of South Asians, whether they start before even were part of the coaching program now, or previous to 7 years that I worked with, when you spend a lot of time with people and then you look at you combine that with research and you combine that with the genetics that matter and the things that you can control, that's where all my information come from, the anecdotes and the small things of sitting down with families, going to their houses in Kenya, in the UK, Mumbai, Delhi. This is what your family does. This is maybe the things that are causing you to gain a bit more weight. Or, the example of when we try this diet with this type of person for the last 4 years, this is what got a great result. And before that, they tried this and it didn't work. So we more focus on, as opposed to the genetic side, where it's like, these are the genetics, we focus on the things you can control. Because I think the genetics get a bad rap, but we've helped people lose 10, 20, 30 kilos that thought they could never lose it because of their genetics. And it just comes down to the things that realistically, nutrition, training and exercise and psychology, that are the major players.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure everyone asks you why you train Indians. So I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to instead ask you, why do you think Indians should choose you as a trainer rather than an Indian?
It's a good question. So I'll tell you a story. So we have a lot of clients that have done previous coaching with other people, and they chose that person based on their skin color and their ability to know the cultural dynamics. Oh, you know me because you're a vegetarian too, or you know me because you're Gujarati too, and you know what struggles I go through. But that doesn't mean that also they know how to help. A lot of brown coaches have had a bodybuilding mindset. You'll see the most of the people in India, for example, who are gym trainers, they're more bodybuilders who eat more, drink more protein shakes than I do, and eat more chicken breast than I do, just to build muscle tissue. And they don't have the relatability. And I think, for me personally, 7 years of having South Asian people day in, day out work with me, thousands of people, I don't look at it as a specific way. I have all of the tools because I sit outside of the box. I don't have any influence of the culture, doesn't have an influence on me, it doesn't have an influence on them. So I can sit outside the box and see the 100% of the picture, which allows me to see people's things that they're missing. A lot of coaches come to me for coaching because they struggle with the same things that they're actually asking their clients to do. So I've got a lot of brown coaches who are like, I still can't say no to my mum's cooking. Well, no wonder their clients are also struggling with saying no to their mum's cooking too, because if the coach can't do it, they can't do it.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. And how do you think with today's like hustle culture and such a lazy lifestyle that most people live in general, how do you think that attributes to someone who's trying to lose weight or someone who's trying to get fit in general?
Yeah, I think it's massive. Like majority of the people that I think struggle with weight gain or purpose or get up and go every day don't have anything to work for. They haven't got hobbies, they haven't got stuff to work on outside of their working day. They hate their job that they're in, they don't enjoy the relationships they're in, for example, and it just creates this, I'm just not going to bother, or I'm not going to do anything, or actually there's no point in doing it. So I think that when the lives that we lead right now can be quite comfortable, and actually sometimes it's the uncomfortable stuff that makes us grow. So for example, like if you live at home with your parents and they cook food for you every day, it can feel like a chore to make your own food because you've got, bhajia, you got chana waiting for you on the side.
Yeah.
And then you have to use more effort to change that. So sometimes the easiest or the laziest or the lifestyle that you have is not always the best for the outcome that you want long term. So I'm a big fan of having purpose, having goals to strive for, and trying new stuff that you're rubbish at. Most people don't get the opportunity to be crap. They don't get opportunity to be rubbish, and then when they do that, they feel rubbish, so they don't do it again. Whereas I like to feel rubbish, and I like to get better and get frustrated at getting better, and then when I become good at it, I'm like, I got here, great job.
Okay, makes sense. That's a good attitude towards life. I think most people should apply that. What is your favorite Indian food?
Chili paneer for a main dish, but I think for me the first thing that kind of really got me into like Indian food was always like Kenyan chevro. So like when I went over to Kenya, the chevro and like the mixes of like the sevoris and like the things that you can have with it, that was really the attachment style that I have. Like I have a chevro attachment style. Like I go there every time, everywhere I go, I have the opportunity to do that. But if you're picking a main dish, it's chili paneer, and then outside of that, I really just enjoy like a pav bhaji, like because of bhaji, if you have a little bit of like chevro or sev in the middle of it, you've obviously got like the bread doughiness, you've got the spice, you've got the crunch, you've got the sweetness if you have tamarind sauce and that, and then you've got all the flavor alongside it. So yeah, I'm a big fan
of pav bhaji. Okay, nice. Okay, makes sense. Thank you so much for your time. It was a great chat.
I like to help as many people as possible, wherever, whenever. So if it's good knowledge and it gets out there and it helps people, then I'm more than happy.